Hey up, welcome to the Cannon Hall Farm podcast. With us, the Nicholson brothers, farmers Rob and Dave.
We're two Yorkshire farmers who, along with our dad Roger, brother Rich and the rest of our family, have turned a farm with 2 sheds and a barn into an award-winning tourist attraction.
You've seen us on the telly, live on Facebook, and now we've got our very own podcast.
On today's episode, we're going to be joined by one of our TV friends, the local legend that is Matt the Vet.
Coming up.
At the time, there was Harry and Meghan on the cover, and they'd completely covered Meghan up so you could only see Harry. And in doing that, they'd completely covered me up as well. So all you could see was Prince Harry, Catherine, and Anastasia.
Oh, really?
So people took pictures and sent me. It's like, oh mate, you're not in it. What happened? What happened? Just Catherine and Harry, and I was like, yeah.
Today, we've got our first guest who is not a member of our family.
Well, he's a good friend though, Rob. I mean, Matt the Vet, bit of a local legend. He's been coming to our farm for a number of years now, and he's done some cracking work here as well.
Without him, we would not have as many animals that are thriving, without a doubt. He's a brilliant vet, as are all the Yorkshire vets.
Yeah, we know them all really, really well, because not everybody will know that David, Shauna, Rohin, Matt, they are actually at a local practice, and we kind of introduced them to Daisy Beck through Springtime on the Farm.
We're incredibly lucky that our animals are treated by some of the best in the business, but we'll come back to that. What have you been up to this week?
I've been on a bit of a road trip. We've got a lot of stock, Rob, and winter's coming, so we have to sell some of the male alpacas, some of the baby ones that have been delivered over the years, and we've found some cracking new homes for them.
Part of farming is moving surplus stock on. Did these alpacas go to a first-class residence?
Oh, superb.
Yeah?
It was a really, really nice place. 10 acres, a lovely cottage. They've got their own outside bar. Those alpacas...
What, the alpacas?
No, they have.
That is above and beyond.
The alpacas have got a nice water trough.
Yeah.
But it just looked a great place. Pizza oven outside. I thought, I could have
I thought you'd been a while.
I could settle down here nicely.
I've been busy. I've been getting the tups prepared for the big day. They need the feet doing. They need worming. They need to be absolutely ready for when they're called to action. And the time is nigh. You know, we need those lads in with the ewes in the next few days. We need them to be tupping strongly so that we've got lots of lambs at springtime.
Yeah, you have to get the ewes in the right condition just before tupping. Flush them. When I say flush, you feed them lush grass so they produce lots of eggs just before the ram does the do.
I know all this, Dave. Why are you telling me?
Well, the viewers out there might not know this. But that's what you say. When I say flushing, not everybody will realise what's that all about.
Exactly. I've also been... What else have I been doing? I've been doing so much.
Bonfires.
Oh, I know what I've been doing.
Yeah.
Clearing out loads of storage containers. Making sure that when our Christmas stock arrives, we've got somewhere to put it. Because this year is racing by. It'll be pumpkins next, and then it'll be the Christmas experience. We've got stock for the farm shop. I just want to say to the world, just slow down. I want to enjoy life a bit more.
Well, the temperature's dropping as well. That means the grass will stop growing, and we're going to have to look for new fields for the animals to go into. So it's a bit of a, it's going to be a hard couple of months.
We're basically doomed.
Well, basically, we have to go around all our neighbours and see what land we've got to rent. So that's what we've got to do.
Anyway, we will be fine. It happens every year.
Yeah.
So, Matt the Vet, we're incredibly lucky to have these people working alongside us. You've described him as another brother to you.
Oh, definitely, yeah. A younger brother, because he's a few years younger than me. But yeah, I think he's a nice, kind-hearted chap. He's always here with a smile on his face, and he always likes to have a bit of a laugh. So, he's a good man.
He's an inspirational character. I would imagine he's a good colleague to have. I bet the other vets love him because he's strong, he's robust, he'll have a go at anything. I think if they're struggling with a calving, he'll have his number on speed dial because he's got those long arms, hasn't he? He's got strength in those arms. I would imagine he's as good as anyone at carving a cow.
Well, we've seen it, Rob. You know, several times. He had a tricky fall in once, and he got that one really well. He's got the skills, there's no doubt.
I think Matt David's shown at rowing that they're like a band of brothers and sisters, aren't they? They're good friends. And I'd like to think that we're up there in their top 40 or 50 friends.
I'd say so. They're the dream team, aren't they?
Yeah.
Let's face it.
Rowan is a really nice lad, isn't he?
He is, yeah.
We went on a trip with him to buy Sultan the Bull, and I think he really, really enjoyed it.
Rob, that hasn't been on telly yet, so you're breaking an embargo. But you know what? Doesn't really matter, does it?
We can do what we want on here. No one tells us what to do. Right, we're going to get into our chat with Matt the vet. It was recorded a little while ago, and it was so long, it's actually a two-parter. Now, David played a sneaky trick on Matt, didn't you?
I certainly did. He was here to do some work on one or two of the animals, do a few injections, a few vaccinations. So while he was here, I thought, I know, let's ask him on the podcast, and it's a bit of a freebie.
You think it's a freebie? Have you checked the bill?
I haven't got the bill yet.
Matt's double-crossed us.
I don't think he will have done, but anyway, forget about the bill. Forget about being Yorkshire and tight. Let's see what Matt's got to say.
Right, Dave. Supporters Day, 21st of September. Are you looking forward to it?
Am I? All the farmy armies coming down to meet our special guest, Matt the vet, and of course, Jules Hudson.
There'll be a good night to be had there. Who's putting him up this time?
Well, I've thought about it, Rob. I haven't got a rubber sheet.
Yeah.
So it's going to have to be you.
Every time I have him to stay, right, Judy says, you can make the bed.
Yeah.
It's your friend who's coming, right? So I know that's extra work for me, but I'm prepared to do that for Jules.
Now, can I just say, we don't need a rubber sheet, really. Jules is house trained, he's a good man, and he's welcome in either our households.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We'll have some good fun.
Yeah.
But the Supporters Day is a special day. We love inviting these supporters of Cannon Hall Farm down to visit. Matt the vet will be super entertaining because he's as daft as a brush, but he's incredibly clever as well, and I'm sure he's going to bring the house down.
I've got a little idea for that.
What?
I'm not going to tell you now because it'll spoil the surprise. But I've got a great idea and I think you're going to love it.
Right, so Matt the vet, Jules Hudson, brother Richard, hopefully my dad will be coming along too.
Yeah.
We're going to have loads of fun. You don't actually have to be a Facebook supporter to come along to the event. Visit the website, book your tickets. We would love to see you there.
Don't delay because places are filling up really quick.
And now we're joined by our great friend, Matt the vet. Matt, welcome to the sofa. Wonderful to have you here.
Thanks so much for having me, Rob. Good to see you, Dave, as well.
Good to see you.
Right, we can't think of anyone better to have a real good chat with than you. You know, we're good pals. You're loads of fun, and you've been coming to our farm now for the last 8 years. Does it feel like a lifetime?
You know, it feels like a minute ago when we were all sat down discussing the zoo collection, discussing the expansion of the farm and such like that. And I distinctly remember at some point in time, weren't giraffes or zebras discussed?
Well,
I mean, where are we on that, Rob?
I had this crazy idea that a field full of giraffes would look great. That some emperor penguins, right? Not just humbled, emperor penguins would be something we could aspire to, and maybe a hippopotamus or something like that. But we've had to scale it back.
We were that close to actually ordering a great big tank for penguins.
Yeah.
With viewing screens, places for the audience to sit. It was going to be the biggest one in the country.
Matt, we nearly picked up a penguin.
Really? That's no joke. Oh, man. Well, it's one that there's a few little spots as you go across that would be perfect for something like some otters or, you know.
Otters are still a possibility. Yeah. We've obviously had to temper things because, as you know, and we found out, things like that are quite expensive to keep. And we've got to cut our cloth accordingly. But I think we've got a collection to be proud of, and a collection that's well looked after by yourself and all your colleagues. So we very much appreciate that.
No, it is. You know what? And it's all so good to be part of a zoo and a collection that does so well to look after them, and also progressively expands as well, because there are so many hoops to jump through. And you know what, it's something which the more boxes that you have to tick, because when you've got a few little like poo samples to take for the fancy rats and the cloud rats and stuff like that. It's no mean feat to do, and I think it's something which a lot of people that come to visit zoos don't have that appreciation of the work behind the scenes.
The way that David's smirking, I think we should make him head of feces.
No, I think Rob talks that much of it.
Yeah.
Right? He should be out of it.
Well, actually, a chief poo picker might not be too bad an idea, because you've got a lot of collection now. Parasite monitoring's important.
Yeah.
You've got to make sure that you're on top with all your worm control and such. So, could set you up a little lab, get you a lab coat on. And
Dr. Dave,
I think he's found his natural home.
I think so.
Now, I've got to tell you this, right? We knew you were coming today, and we thought, should we do the interview before you did all the injections and all the vaccinations with the horses, or should we do it afterwards? And we thought, we'll do it afterwards, because then you'll work a bit faster and it won't cost us as much.
You know what? That's a great logistics there, Dave.
Rob's idea.
So, casting back to 8 years ago,
Yeah.
we set off on our journey with you and with Donaldson's, who are your colleagues, and it just seems to have gone so really, really well from our point of view. We've managed to build up the anniversary herd of short-horn cattle. We've gone big into pedigree sheep. We've got the reptile house. We've got the mammal house. Which bit of it, or do you just embrace the whole lot? Do you like best, Matt?
You know what? I love the lot of it, and I've always said, if anyone's heard me interviewed or anything like that before, they'll be sick of me saying that I love my large animals and cattle and stuff like that. I do like my smalls, but I've got a tendency to like my exotics and reptiles. If you've got reptiles on one hand and you've got cows in the other, you've got a dinosaur vet,
Yeah.
So 65 million years ago, that'd be my jam. Or if Jurassic Park comes to life and you guys fancy investing in a Triceratops, Stegosaurus, T-Rex, whatever it might be, I've got my dark gun license as well. You know what? It's fantastic progression, So I have to say, I do like
A real
it a lot.
all-rounder.
Definitely all-rounder, which as a mixed vet, I think is quite tricky to come by these days, because the profession itself is splitting so much into small animal and large animal vets, that the actual like mixed practitioner, it's quite hard to find an area, which I think is what you're actually limited by, that you can do a good job on all fields. And like you said, we've been 8 years working together now, and it has been an absolute roller coaster ever since, because as soon as we started, we got on board with the little zoo collections and such like that. The mammal house wasn't up and running. I think the reptile house was a lot smaller than it is now. You had the anniversary of the shorthorns, and then suddenly there was a springtime on the farm. Came through the cesarean for that, and that's when our Yorkshire vet journey started. As you started with that springtime on the farm, because it wasn't long, obviously, that we were going, and then COVID hit, and that's when you guys got that award, didn't you, for the contributions during COVID.
Lockdown award.
Lockdown award.
O2 Lockdown Heroes and Point of Light, Commonwealth Point of Light Award, which was a proud moment, that, because we were obviously able to keep people entertained through the lowest of times, So
and we're still getting people
nice.
today visiting the farm, because they just wanted to come say hello and thank us for doing all those 150 days of broadcasts throughout the lockdown. And it's nice.
So Matt, just casting our mind back to springtime on the farm, 6 years ago, I believe.
Yeah.
I seem to remember that we recommended you to Daisy Beck as someone, and Dave and Shona as well, as someone who would be worth following. And did you? So you started on springtime, and then that spawned the next generation of Yorkshire vets?
Yeah, so what happened, I remember it now again, is when you were having that problem with the shorthorns and we were having all those
losing some calves,
cesareans, because the first time that you guys did springtime, I think me, Shona and David, I think each did an evening as kind of like vet cover for that evening in case something was to happen. Because they hadn't started incorporating us or anything like that into the Yorkshire vet. And then throughout that next 12-month period was the cesareans came across. I distinctly remember it now. There was, in a week, you must have had 2 cesareans, a couple of assisted carvings. I remember coming down to one of the first cesareans. I remember seeing, I think, Leisha and Tom filming it, and said, "Oh, can we film you?" I was like, "Yeah, that's fine." So I remember it now. She was on the ground for half of it. I remember I had the student with me. I was trying to instruct the student as to what to do. And I remember keep looking back to the camera. I think Leisha was saying, "No, don't look straight down the camera," stuff like that. So you're trying to do the procedure, and then do it there for that full length of time. And then David went to do an assisted carving with yourselves, and then it was something which you guys obviously had a chat with Daisy Beck and pointed them in our direction, which I have to say we are very, very grateful for.
Well, we knew, Matt, that there's such a variety of different opportunities around here to film different things. Maybe more so than just up in Thirsk. I thought it gave a richness, and obviously you've got a youthful zeal to you, Shona as David has. I thought it gave the programme an injection of a variety that's definitely helped it.
Oh, definitely. You forgot Rohin, Rob.
He wasn't around.
He wasn't around then.
Oh no, he wasn't.
He's only
that's
just
true.
come into the scene
Rohin,
after last 3 years, is it, or 2?
Well, yeah, because I graduated Shona graduated 2012. I graduated 2014. Dave graduated 2017, and Rohin would have been. You're right. It'd have been only graduate. It wouldn't. It'd have still been at university. Coming
again, Daisy Beck would have. There's a lot of vets in there at Donaldson's.
Oh, there's a lot. Yeah,
and it's not just you guys that are filmed. Sometimes there's a bit of a crossover, is there?
Yeah,
Martin does a bit.
And that's how he got involved. He stepped in, and they obviously liked him, and he's part of the furniture now.
Well, I think that's the amazing thing as to how it's all developed. And I remember after they'd done the filming here with yourselves, they got in contact with myself and David. Do you want to do a little bit more filming? Had a chat with Martin. I was like, yeah, sounds good. And I remember sat down with myself and Martin and Paul at Daisy Beck in the old meeting room at the old Maple Street practice, which, I mean, you've seen it. I mean, I compare it to like a shotgun house that you can see from the back of the building, right from the front, and then there's a little semi-detached nearby where everyone kind of squashed in for officers, but literally being in that little room.
Yeah.
And speaking to Paul about it, I remember thinking in my head, I was like, oh wow, this is the most amazing thing. Yeah, this sounds great. And Martin was like, okay, yeah, this sounds a good idea. And it was then the film myself and David for it would have been, I think, the next Yorkshire Next Generation,
like
but then
pilot.
COVID hit, but then they decided to weave it in. So obviously it's something which we're all massively grateful for Paul and the team at Daisy Beck as well for kind of following everything through, and it's been life-changing for all of us.
So really then, Matt, originally it was going to be Yorkshire Vet Next Generation as a separate series.
Yeah.
But then later on they thought, well, why make it separate? Why not just add them into the mix and make it more rounded?
Yeah, so I try and look at the time scale when COVID hit. So COVID hit 2020, wasn't it? So 2019, they started filming and putting stuff together with myself and David, ready to release it in 2020, but then COVID hit, and then all plans got scrambled, and then they kind of integrated us in, which I have to say, I think I speak for all of us when it was a really nerve-wracking time, because the Yorkshire Vet had been established 4 or 5 years by then, and Julian and Peter are the Yorkshire Vets.
And did they welcome you warmly?
Oh, very much so. Oh, yeah. I think having Peter and Julian there for us all to talk to and bounce ideas off was really quite reassuring from it. And I think Martin probably spoke to Julian and Peter and such like that as well, because, it's, for such a popular programme at the time, it's almost, I think, certainly quite intimidating a little bit. It's exciting, but it's slightly nerve-wracking as well to go.
Yeah, I think the good for advice as well. They've been there, they've done it, and this, they said with us when we on that first ever springtime, they said animals come first all the time, and you've just got to put the animals' welfare above everybody else's. Forget about the cameras and everything, and you just do your best for the animals. And I'll never forget that.
Julian told us that, didn't he? It was the first springtime on the farm.
Yeah.
And obviously you want to do your best for the programme. But he said, do not ever forget that animals are the priority and that you look after that first and foremost. And we've never forgotten it. No. And sometimes we just need to say, no, this is one that we need to move on. This is one we need to get delivered now. And the television people are very respectful of that. They don't want to do anything that puts anything at a disadvantage.
After the first springtime,
Yeah.
everything went quiet. It was a little bit like it was full on for a month, and then all them 50 or 60 people disappeared overnight, and we were there twiddling our thumbs.
Yeah.
So any animal that got a little bit poorly, or we had a llama that cut its ear. Rob, we had Ross the cameraman's number, and Julian's, and we'd give him a ring, and they'd come down for the story. Now, that's how we kept on TV, and we that's our first, that's when we started on the Yorkshire Vet, because otherwise it'd only be springtime, wouldn't it?
Well, yeah, I remember actually coming, and I think Julian was down with Ross, and they were sorting out some alpaca's teeth. And I remember, I think it was like one of the first times I met Julian, and my mum had really quite liked his book, so I'd actually brought the book.
Yeah.
To get signed.
Were you a fanboy, Matt?
Well, I have to say, my grandma got me into the Yorkshire Vet, and it was something which I never avidly watched it, but when my grandma started saying, "Oh, watch this," I got more and more into it, and it's quite funny actually what you can.
I remember my dad telling me about it, the Yorkshire Vet, and he says, "Good vets, them, good vets." He's done a really good operation last night as Julian. It were a dog. I didn't think he got a chance of doing it, and it survived.
And you know what? That's what we want to portray on the Yorkshire Vet, is that we all care about the job that we do, and we get a bit of stick now and again, of course you do, but it's something which genuinely, when I actually did an interview for I think Radio Scotland or something like that it was, and they're saying is what you see.
I thought you were going to drop in OK Magazine.
Okay, we'll get to that later, right?
Managed to appear in OK Magazine, like new baby and everything, and I just thought you were going to work that in then. I thought, a shameless name drop.
I've never heard the end of that since I've done it. Like,
have you got it framed on your wall?
Well, you know what?
Here is my baby pose.
Oh dear. So you know what? So what makes me laugh is that when it came out,
I hope you got well paid. Is all I'm saying.
Well, you know what? There's not. It's not.
Don't talk money. Don't talk money.
Yeah, awkward. Can we scratch that? But what made me laugh when the magazine cover came out.
Have you saved a copy?
Oh yeah, I'll get you one. I may have saved a few for Anastasia when she's older,
Yeah.
But what made me laugh, when you go and buy the magazine, you see it in the shops, don't you? There's the magazine cover, okay, what it might be, and you can see the stories at the time. So and so's had a baby, got married, whatever it would be. Now, certain magazines are advertising on the front, don't they? Now, the front of OK magazine for that particular time, I remember distinctly, had a marketing cover for Argos. Now, Argos had kind of enveloped the magazine. So if you imagine seeing the front of the magazine here, the first half is cut off by a big red piece of paper that says Argos. And at the time, there was Harry and Meghan on the cover. And they'd completely covered Meghan up so you could only see Harry. And in doing that, they'd completely covered me up as well. So all you could see was Prince Harry, Catherine, and Anastasia.
Oh, really?
So people took pictures and sent me, it's like, "Oh mate, you're not in it. What happened? Just Catherine and Harry." And I was like, yeah.
Did you run off with Meghan instead?
I know, right? I was thinking to myself, I like to think that maybe, it wasn't done on purpose, but I don't know whether the Meghan cover thing was, because it was all hot stuff at the time, wasn't it? But no, that does crack me up about that OK magazine.
I'd forgotten all about that as well.
Oh no.
Sorry, Matt, I interrupted you there.
No, it's fine. It was just going back to when you said about the filming the Yorkshire Vet and the springtime or such like that. I did a little radio interview on BBC Radio Scotland, and they asked, is what we see real as it's happening? And I said it is. It's absolutely 100% genuine, that the emotions that you see and feel are the same ones that we feel as we go through the story. And obviously there's the music behind it, and then there's the nice little drive into the countryside. But when you are there in that situation, I think you'd agree with me that everything that the viewers experience, we're experiencing it as well.
Oh no, we're living. I think if anything, it makes it even better, because you've got to make sure that you're absolutely on it, and you want the best outcome always for the animal and for your patients, I suppose.
I suppose if you think about it, the springtime programme, it's filmed a week before.
Yeah.
So they've time to stitch it together and get the flow right.
Yeah.
But the other day on social media, we had a Shire horse giving birth.
Yeah.
Rob filmed it, more or less from when the hooves started just coming out.
Yeah.
And we didn't quite know.
And that was live, Matt.
Yeah. We didn't quite know how it was going to go.
Yeah.
But we thought, let's do it.
Yeah.
You know, and everyone, there was thousands of people watching, and they experienced it at the same time as us. They experienced all those feelings.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think
At
stuff
one
like
time,
that
we
is-
wouldn't have done it live, would we? We thought,
No.
oh no, what if it goes wrong? But we're open and honest with our followers, and if it went wrong, we'd only have it to talk about, to deal with afterwards. So why not do it live, and why not let people see the actuality of it? And I was glad we did it, and obviously it worked well, and it was something that a lot of people will have enjoyed immensely.
I mean, you know this, Matt. Horses and donkeys, they're very secretive. They give birth when there's no one around.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so unless you've got cameras and you can see what's happening, you know, chances of anyone seeing it, it's pretty slim.
Oh yeah, it is, and like you said, it's that risk that things aren't always going to go to plan, you know. And I think one of the first times that I was on here, they were filming, you know, I think it was the
calves,
the
anniversary.
the young calf anniversary. One was there, and one unfortunately broke its
Oh,
its
yeah.
leg in the calf. And we
Roger.
had to, Roger, that was it. Yeah, we like potted it back up, and you know, any farmers had that happen to them because it is always
Yeah.
a risk. And I think it was a bit of a shock that happens, but like you said, it's fixing it up afterwards because, well, you just got to be prepared for anything to go wrong at any point in time.
No, I think the one thing people do want is honesty, and
Yeah.
and I think if we can be true to the experience and true to the people watching, then they're only going to enjoy it more. And I think that's the one thing that we make sure is so all the time.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Cannon Hall Farm podcast.
Catch part 2 of our chat with Matt the Vet next week. Here's a clip.
Top 20 friends?
I'd say so, yeah. Same.
Yeah?
Good.
But who's higher? Is Rob higher than me or lower than me?
Well,
Or have you got us as a pair?
it depends who makes the money joke when I leave.
Matt the Vet will be coming back to Cannon Hall Farm on the 21st of September for our Supporters Day. If you fancy coming along, visit www.cannonhallfarm.co.uk and book a ticket now.
And if you've enjoyed this episode, don't forget to follow us on your podcast provider.
That's it for now. I've been Farmer Rob.
I've been Farmer Dave.
See you next time.
Bye-bye. Do you think Matt has put it on the bill?
I wouldn't rule it out.
Who knows?
He's a rascal.
Hey up, welcome to the Cannon Hall Farm podcast. With us, the Nicholson brothers, farmers Rob and Dave.
We're two Yorkshire farmers who, along with our dad Roger, brother Rich and the rest of our family, have turned a farm with 2 sheds and a barn into an award-winning tourist attraction.
You've seen us on the telly, live on Facebook, and now we're here with our very own podcast.
Last week you heard part 1 of our chat with Matt the Vet. Now it's time for part 2.
Coming up.
Since 2019, 2020, I've been journaling and putting everything.
I dread
down
think what
that
you've
I've
put
done.
about us.
Don't you worry.
Yeah.
It's all good. It's all
Them
good, I promise.
curmudgeonly buggers at Cannon Hall Farm have been grumbling about the bill again.
If they don't,
Late payers every time. Rob, is that my jacket?
No, it's my jacket and I lent it you because you were cold.
Okay. Well, I'm going to have to be
And
cold
now,
then.
and
aren't
now
I?
I'm cold, so I want it back.
Okay.
Right, what have you been up to this week?
Well, I've had my grandson Arthur to stay. It's been lovely. You know, it was.
Have you changed the nappy yet?
Oh yeah. But it's hard putting them back on. It's a good job the pull-ups.
I thought you'd be good at that.
Well,
I'm
he's a little
amazed.
wriggler, isn't he? He's off. He wants to go places and do things.
I've no doubt he is going places.
He is wherever he wants. No, it's been lovely. You know, and he sleeps so well as well. You know, he woke up twice in the night. One for a bottle, which he always does, and the other one he's teething. So
Oh, dear.
bit of Calpol did the trick.
Where would we be without that?
Well, that's quite true, Rob. We'd have a lot of screaming babies. That's what we would have.
It's a new parent or grandparent's friend, isn't it? On occasions. Right, I've been busy trying to replace the irreplaceable.
You're talking about Carol.
Exactly. Carol has been our general manager on the farm for 22 years. She is taking a well-earned retirement at Christmas, so that leaves us with a big gap to fill. We've been interviewing candidates this week, and the standard has been fabulous. You know, Carol did say to me, I feel as though I can retire safe in the knowledge that there are some brilliant people that are going to take on the running a Cannonall farm, but we've got a decision to make, and it is not an easy one.
Carol is brilliant at her job. She has been outstanding for the farm. She's a good friend, and I think it's going to be one hell of a party.
I think the good thing is, Dave, she's not going away. She'll carry on being a friend, and I've no doubt a customer. She's got 3 grandchildren to look after, who I'm sure are going to run her ragged, and I'm sure she'll be round the farm most weeks, keeping an eye on the place. But yeah, the interview process it's been really interesting. It's been really tough because all these people are great people. They're really nice to know, and we've got a really tough decision to make. So yeah, I just hope we need the wisdom of Solomon and a little bit of luck. You always need a bit of luck.
I don't know what's going on downstairs, but there's some banging happening.
It's the elephant's breeding season.
We haven't got. There's cloud rats down there.
Well,
I don't know what they're doing. Let's leave it there.
They're definitely breeding anyway.
Yeah.
Well, luckily, our job is not to breed the cloud rats. That belongs to someone else. What have you been getting ready?
Well, we've been moving the Highland cattle out of the front field because they're about eating up, Rob, and they need some nice grass just to keep them going on to those winter months.
At it again.
Will you pack it in down there? Anyway, these Highland cattle, they need some fresh pasture, so I put them down the drive side field.
Well, fresh pasture they've had, and they look fantastic down there. I think wherever you put Highland cattle, they seem to perfect a landscape, and that's what they've done. What else have I done? I've been working closely with my son Tom, which has been really nice. He's been 12 years in London. He's now back working at the farm, and hopefully we're doing good things together and pushing the business on to a better place.
Good. And of course, we've got my son-in-law working behind the scenes, doing the podcast, editing it all. So hopefully he's going to make me look good.
And don't forget our other son, Dale, is like a son to us. And without his help, we wouldn't be anywhere near where we are today.
I was going to say brother.
No, Dave. He's another generation from you.
It could have happened.
In your mind, do you think of him as a brother?
Oh, aye. I still think I'm young.
So you're young at heart.
But when I look into the mirror and see all that grey hair, you think, crikey, you know.
You need to revisit that dye in the hair again.
I think you're right.
I don't think it did you any harm, though.
I think a soft perm as well for Christmas might look good.
Why not think about a mullet?
Oh, no. Matt the vet had a mullet in lockdown.
Yeah.
It didn't suit him.
He didn't have a mullet, he just had a bowl.
It was terrible. The worst haircut I've ever seen.
Anyway, speaking of Matt the vet, here's part 2 of our chat.
Roll VT.
We've had OK Magazine, right?
Yeah.
I see you heavily endorsing cat food.
Ah, okay,
Right?
yeah.
And you've a book coming out. So you're quite the celebrity, Matt, aren't you?
Well, it's been a busy year. You know, I think I should say a year full of opportunities, which I think
In a world full of opportunities.
Well, that's the thing. You know, I think having these opportunities come along, it's the case of you're a bit daft if you don't take them with both hands. And I think as a vet, it's quite a tricky one sometimes because obviously you've got your professional reputation to kind of put against all of these media things that you're doing.
But if you believe in that cat food, because you have a family cat that eats it, haven't you?
Yeah,
and
Jasper,
it's prospered since it went on it.
Yeah, Jasper loves it. You know, it's something which had been on it for 6-7 months before we started any of the filming, and no professional out there is going to put the name behind something they don't think is inherently good.
I never knew you had a cat, Matt.
My sister's cat, Jasper.
Oh, is it?
I'm a cat uncle.
David, it's
I'm
a family
uncle.
cat.
I'm a
That's
cat
all it
uncle,
is to understand.
you know.
That's it then, that's fine,
Yeah. No, so it is. It's one that, you know, like genuinely, you don't put your name against something that you don't think is genuinely good. And I think it's trying to do as much as you can with integrity.
You're a genuine person. I would say that with certainty. And I don't think you would endorse a product that wasn't first class. And obviously something like a book is a massive opportunity. So I mean, whilst you're a young man, you've lived a life. I'm sure you've got loads of stuff to pack in there to keep us all entertained, and I can't wait to receive my free copy.
Of course.
Signed.
As integral to my career as it is now, of course you'll receive a signed exclusive copy.
We'll swap you one.
Deal. Yeah, deal. Can I get mine signed as well? Of
course you can.
Excellent. Thank you.
So, are you able to give us a little bit of an insight into the type of thing that's in it?
So, when the opportunity came around to do a book, now I've been journaling for quite a few years, so I had a lot of material put together. One of the Mick once said, I never wrote down vet stories, if you can remember to write a few down. And anyway, through COVID I thought, well, let's just start. And so since 2019, 2020 I've been journaling and putting everything.
I dread think what you've put about us.
Don't you worry, It's all good.
Them curmudgeonly buggers at Cannon Old Farm have been grumbling about the bill again.
If they don't,
late payers every time.
If they'd only not put a money joke on the end of every bloody visit, I wouldn't charge them that extra 10 minutes of coffee time.
I've got to say, you have been very kind with the bills as well.
Dave, this is going out in, I think you've been exactly fair.
Exactly.
And I think as far as like vets and fees and such like that go, the veterinary community has been taking some real heat, recently. And I think it's something that I think, there needs to be, more awareness of that. It's not like the vet that comes to see you and to look after your animals and stuff like that. All of that pricing, all of that stuff, it's all way up the top. Big companies and stuff like that. But the actual vet that people see and deal with, they really, really care about what they do. And coming back to what you said about the book, when it was kind of all getting put together, I really want to put a message in to show us that we as vets are a massively caring profession, and to really kind of champion that veterinary ethos, which obviously is, we look after. There's loads of advanced stuff that you can do for all sorts of animals now, dogs, cats, lizards, cows, and stuff like that. Isn't it? But I think it's to get that root cause of that we all genuinely care what we do, and it's taking you through those highs and lows of my veterinary timeline.
But if we're being fair, right, we're trying to be fair, you've studied a long time to be a vet, haven't you?
Oh, yeah.
Longer than a doctor.
Yeah.
You're obviously pretty bright to start with. You're entitled to earn a good living, and we wouldn't begrudge that for a second. And I know that without you as our emergency service, our animals would not be as good as they are. So we very much appreciate what you do, and that goes without saying for most people, I think. And
it's that relationship we've got with your vet. Like I said, we've known each other a long time now, as friends as much as anything, And I think that allows us both to do the best work that we can because we've got that trusting relationship.
Top 20 friends?
I'd say so. Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
Good.
But who's right? Is Rob higher than me or lower than me?
Well,
or have you got us as a pair?
It depends who makes the money joke when I leave.
Not everybody knows this.
Everyone thinks that Matt don't mind when we joke, but he probably does.
Not everyone knows this, but you're actually very good at playing the piano, aren't you?
Oh, you're brilliant.
You know what? I did it for the age of about 7 or 8, to the age of about 13, 14. Then I got to a grumpy teenager stop. Picked it back up again.
What grade did you get to, Matt?
Well, I never did any formal grades. I think I did. I think Mum and Dad said, "Oh, Matthew, you need to do a grade. You need to do a grading." So when I was about 10, I did my grade 2, but I just kind of kept going with it. So I never really done any grades. I've just played because I enjoy doing it. I picked my lessons back up again a few years ago, but since moving into the new house for a couple of years, I've let it slide a little bit. But I would like to get back onto doing it more because I love alt blues and stuff like that. I'd love to be a proper good blues improv.
Yeah.
So that'd be cool.
We know you're a brilliant vet, right?
Well,
You've obviously done very, very well in your education. You're a wonderful musician. Tell us about your sporting prowess, Matt.
Sporting? Oh, blooming hell.
We know you can play cricket after last summer.
Well, you know what? So the let's just say sporting was never my thing at school. So my dad, as you both know, was a professional rugby league player. And he played for 1962 to 1983, Leeds in Great Britain. It was fantastic.
Well, my dad played badminton for Springvale.
There you go. And what's your badminton like?
Not very good now.
See, there we got mine the same way. You know, I was a big guy. I was built for the forwards. I hated the forwards. I liked running, but I was bloody slow.
Yeah.
You know, but so I just wasn't very good at all, and eventually I think they started to realise that. But I was never that bothered. But.
They accepted that music was your forte.
Well, that's the thing. Funnily enough, back at school, my forte was never actually the sciences. I was always better at music and art and English. You know, that was always my better subjects back at school, and the sciences were always ones I had to really, really work hard at. So it's one that actually, like the arts and stuff like that, is one that I took art up to A level. So I've always quite liked drawing and painting and stuff like that. But I've always loved doing random stuff. I mean, did a list of things that I like doing. I mean, got a dream in the pocket to fly a plane one day. That'd be good fun. I like doing a bit of clay pigeon shooting, and I've got a piano, and I've got scuba diving gear at home as well.
I used to go scuba diving.
Yeah, great fun. Great fun. So yeah, it's something which I like to keep busy. You know, like to keep kind of busy.
Well,
what about you guys? Musical?
I once played the cymbals.
Oh yeah.
In a parade. I played the triangle in a nativity
Nice.
play, and I played the xylophone in church.
Xylophone. No.
I've got a pair of maracas at home.
Yeah.
And, you know, I get them out now and again and give them a bit of a shake. I've also... and I've got a tambourine as well. I give that a bit of we're mashing around.
It's gone red. It's gone bright red when the maracas come out.
So we're very much percussion based. I'm going to bring this back into the moment.
Got good rhythm.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll tell you about my xylophone experience in church.
Yeah.
I was playing away and I'd memorised I didn't know the music. I won't read music, I just memorised it. But I went wrong in the first verse, right? And instead of carrying on and making it up, I just stopped, waited for the second verse, picked it up and carried on from there. Now I always remember my dad saying to me at the end, he says, "You did really well there because you didn't panic and you picked it up with the second verse and you finished well." So that was nice parenting, I thought. It made me feel better in a moment of semi-tragedy.
Well, I am very impressed, Rob. You know, definitely. Finishing strong.
But I don't think it's a patch on the way David moves his maracas.
Well, you need to have rhythm. That's all I've got to say.
Remember teaching me a few of your dance moves on about rhythm? Remember the shotgun?
Yeah, with the shotgun move.
Yeah, the shotgun move.
That was in COVID, wasn't it?
It was.
We were 3 foot away from each other, and I showed you the shotgun dance.
It was great.
Going back to COVID, Matt, how was being a vet impacted by the rules that we had to follow?
Man, now that was being a vet during COVID was a very strange experience because I kid you not, I went to one farm and some of the farmers that you go to, I mean, they see the feed man, the nutrition man, the milk, whatever it might be, but some obviously don't keep abreast. And he was asking me what the latest deal was with this Congo virus.
Congo virus.
Yeah. And I was like, crikey, because it was almost like you go onto a farm and do a visit, and it was like everything was...
They weren't keeping the distance.
yeah, trying to get the distance and get the mask and stuff like that was quite tricky.
But it was really weird, wasn't it? Because you'd be driving down the road, and there's hardly any traffic.
Nothing.
You know, I remember going down the motorway once, and we were the only car on the motorway.
Yeah. It was absolutely mental.
What are you doing with mask on, Veterinary?
Yeah. Well, oh dearie me. So, at the practice, because everyone had screens up, didn't they? And it took a while for people to realise there were plexiglass screens, didn't they?
Yeah.
So what you'd often have was when we were consulting in the small animal practice, we had a plexiglass screen that was between us and the client, and you could get around it on the inside, but you could kind of hear through it. But because obviously veterinary practice is constantly clean, it's constantly clean and stuff like that. So this plexiglass plastic, you just couldn't see it was there, and the amount of people that rammed the poor pet dog or the cat into this plexiglass screen to pass
We shouldn't be laughing.
You shouldn't laugh, but yeah, it was such a strange time that seems so long ago, and I think it was more seeing the whole eyes are like the practice to like a roller coaster queue. They had like little yellow spots on the ground where you could move between 2 meters. It was almost like a little kind of like, you know, roll 6, move 2, and move 4 and stuff like that. But yes, it was a very, very peculiar. I remember when drive-through coffee shops opened up once, they've been totally shut. And I mean, I always get drive-through coffees and stuff like that when I'm out and about. It's like a little takeout Costa. But when they reopened, like Costa or something like that, or you could go to service stations again. It was, I remember that best cup of coffee.
Yeah, and one thing I do remember about you in lockdown was you grew your hair quite long, didn't you?
Oh, you mean the mullet?
Mullet, yeah. I was like, right now it's just absolute state, but yes, really long hair. And Fran, they actually videoed it for Yorkshire Vet of me getting a haircut at the practice. But thankfully, Fran, one of the nurses, used to be a hairdresser. Well, she's still got all her own stuff.
And was she in your bubble?
She was in my bubble. Well, she was in my work bubble. Yeah. So we all worked. So
you were all right there then.
Worked together. Or the relaxation. We cleared it with the relative regulations at the time to make sure it was safe. I think I had a mask on.
Well,
either or, it were right, and she cut my hair.
Julie cut mine, and we used to have some dog shears for Doris.
Oh, brilliant.
And she used them to cut it. She like laid it in at the back. She's all right, actually. It wasn't the worst of it.
Yeah. A lot of people had skills that developed, didn't
my
they?
wife's a hairdresser, so it wasn't a problem with me.
You're all right then. Oh, you weren't in the same bubble?
No.
Not in the same bubble, couldn't go for a haircut. Oh, man. We tried to clip the dog's hair as well. That was Catherine says, right, Matthew, I want to clip Harry's hair, and I could see her like do it right, or you know, you'll be in trouble. Like, so I was like, oh, Catherine, it's really hard to shave. To shave. I was like, Catherine, look, it's really hard to properly groom a dog's hair. And I says, all right then. And I said, actually, Catherine, I want you to start it so that you'll message up first before I do, and then I can just trim it as best I can.
Exactly.
So I gave her the clippers, which she used to clip all Cows's hair. It blew off all cow hair and a bit of sheep blood that was on it, and got to work on Harry and get Catherine clippers. At first thing, he was square ball patch by his ribs, which was fantastic. And she gave them back to me, and I made him look like a bit of a patchwork quilt. And
at least you did your best.
I did my best. I thought to myself about, maybe I can make a lion cut, something like that. Lion hair. Never thought about going down that route. Bit of a mane going on. But you guys must have found COVID mental.
Oh, it was very challenging.
Yeah.
Made a lot more bearable by the fact that we were broadcasting out to people and playing a part in their well-being, but particularly opening back up again and trying to follow all the distancing rules in the restaurants and all that kind of thing made life quite complicated. And you were having to continually adapt and evolve and make sure that you complied with the regulations.
And we started filming the springtime on the farm, and then this week on the farm.
Yeah.
And that's what allowed us to travel a little bit. You know, and it kept life really interesting. Yeah. You know, it's like you had such a varied job. You weren't impacted at work too much because you could get out and about.
No, it was. It's like when the people say about it, we were quite lucky to be able to be out and about and kind of carry on not as normal. But when you talk about people going stir crazy, sat in their house and stuff like that, you think, blooming hell, what changed for you during COVID? It's just everything just went mental. Everything was just so busy, and obviously animals went through the roof. The swallow practice, they had week shifts, so they had a bubble of people that worked together for a week, and they saw everything at the practice. And I remember, like, because we had the bottom basement bit for the large animal drugstore, so we were back and forth. So we kind of briefly saw them. And I tell you what, the speed at which they tried, literally, they did 1 week on and 2 weeks off. There were 3 teams, but anyway, I think they did a week on and a week off. And by the end of the week, you could see it in the faces, literally animal after animal after animal after animal after animal that come through. It was absolute chaos, as obviously animal ownership just shot up.
Were you? I'm just thinking back now. Were you the Donaldson's super spreader when the whole practice nearly went down?
But no, that wasn't me. That wasn't me.
We'll not put anyone's name out there.
I can't. Who was it? Oh, it was David.
Was it?
It was David. David. I think
I can remember at the time someone got COVID.
Someone did,
and it'd worked in such close proximity to his bubble, and it took half the practice.
It did
out, and it put all the strain on the rest of you, didn't it?
It was David.
Was it?
It was David that did that. Yeah.
Is that in your book?
No.
Book two.
Book two. Jeez, yeah.
Matt, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the sofa with us today. But just remind me one more time, when does your book come out?
So it gets released October the 10th this year.
Excellent. And you must be very excited?
Oh, really, really excited. I was quite nervous because obviously it's just stories that you've journaled and you didn't really expect to be sharing them for maybe a long time. So it's something which I really hope that everyone enjoys it and gets the message across.
So this has happened quicker than you expected then?
Definitely. It's happened a lot quicker than I expected, but it's certainly an opportunity that I couldn't pass up on to share my own
So
veterinary
these
experience.
journals were potentially your future pension, and it's like drawing down early?
A little bit, yeah.
As long as you put it somewhere safe, you're doing all right.
Well, just start some more journals, Matt. You've a lot of life left to live.
Well, that can be book number 2 and 3, I hope. We shall see. On the topic of books, I'm actually dying to know which one of your 2 is your favourite.
Well, I love them both because there's an awful lot of work gone into each one. But I suppose I'm always going to pick my dad's story, the first one, because it's all about his upbringing, the challenges he faced as a young man taking over the farm. And so probably book 1, but I love the second book and all the filming stuff.
Yeah, I think it was a proud moment when the book came out, the first one. You know, you saw it in the supermarkets.
Yeah.
And, you know, get your dad's story out there. I think that was fantastic. But, you know, I enjoyed the TV stories in the second book. So, you know, I think they're all good. And it's just getting your life down there, you know, on paper. And I think
They're like
nice.
children, Matt. It's really hard to choose between them.
Yeah. I see. Well, I have to say, I've read the first one. I mean, when your dad went into the burning barn and stuff like that,
yeah.
I did not know that.
It makes Fireman Sam look like an absolute second rate, doesn't it?
I have to say, he did absolutely incredible stuff. But I've not actually read the second one yet. So.
Well, I think there might be a copy going on with you tonight.
Oh, thank you very much. We'll do a book swap.
Yeah. Matt, thank you so much for coming in. Really enjoyed your company. We hope you'll come back and see us again soon. So,
Of course.
thank you so much.
See you soon.
Next time, bring your book and we'll show everybody what it looks like.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Look forward to it.
Yeah.
See you in a bit.
Thanks, Matt.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Cannon Hall Farm podcast. We'll be back with another episode of the podcast next Thursday, but for now, I've been Farmer Rob.
I've been Farmer Dave.
See you next time.
Bye-bye. Hey up, welcome to the Cannon Hall Farm podcast. With us, the Nicholson brothers, farmers Rob and Dave.
We're 2 Yorkshire farmers who, along with our dad Roger, brother Rich and the rest of our family, have turned a farm with 2 sheds and a barn into an award-winning tourist attraction.
You've seen us on the telly, live on Facebook, and now we're here with our very own podcast.
As summer comes to a close, we're going to have a look back at some of the highlights.
Coming up, yeah, ice packs where my operation was on my belly button, not down there. It was just here.
Was it the belly button or the castration that was the biggest problem to you?
It'll be your castration that's going to be the biggest problem to you, pal.
When this podcast is released, we'll have just had our Supporters' Day, which to me is a joyous occasion. Is it something you look forward to?
Oh, definitely, yeah. There's a lot of lovely people come to it. They always have a nice little chat with you. Jules is there. We've got a special guest with Matt as well. And it's always nice to catch up with people.
There's so many people that have invested time into Cannon Hall Farm, and that's humbling in itself. But to see them come here and meet up with pals, because they make friends on the supporters page and they all get together, and I don't know, just something that brings a smile to your face. And one thing that always brings a smile to my face is Matt the vet.
Oh, he's a larger than life character, isn't he? He's a good man.
He's large because his arms are that long, aren't they? Yeah. Without doubt, the best carving arms I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, he's a strong lad. When he turns up to a carving or anything like that, you know you're in the right hands.
I think someone like Matt lights up a room, and I've no doubt he will light up the marquee for Supporters' Day. So yeah, he's a joy to have on the farm. Speaking of joys, we've had so many wonderful occasions this summer. Shall we have a look back at the highlights?
Sounds good to me.
Right, end of September now, Dave. What's been the highlight of your summer?
Well, we've been lucky, Rob. The weather has been fantastic, except at the Yorkshire Show.
Oh.
That first day at the Yorkshire Show, I thought it could possibly get cancelled because there were that much water come down. I was absolutely drenched by the end of it.
We've come out of lambing time, haven't we? And it was tough, but we sauntered into summer, and it seems to have been a time to enjoy. You know, we've not been overburdened with filming, and we've been able to enjoy the Shire Foals being born and enjoy their progress. But I think you're right. I think the Yorkshire Show for me was the highlight.
Well, I'd just had a hernia operation. So
have you? I didn't know.
Well, I had, right? So I wasn't allowed to lift anything heavy.
Right. Oh,
right?
I didn't know that.
So I wasn't allowed to show cattle or anything because that had been pulling me in all directions. But thankfully now I'm more or less fit to go.
So you've had the summer of your life, haven't you?
I have not.
Absolutely, feet up.
I have not, because I've been working. Just going to the Yorkshire Show, Rob, right? It really kind of messed me up a bit.
Did it?
I had to lay on the settee. I had ice packs where my operation was on my belly button, not down there. It was just here.
Was it the belly button or the castration that was the biggest problem to you?
It'll be your castration that's going to be the biggest problem to you, pal. Anyway, let's get back to Yorkshire Show.
Yeah.
We got there, didn't we? We got the animals settled in, and we were travelling backwards and forwards.
Yeah.
The Tuesday, it absolutely belted it down. You had to show the cattle with Peter Wright.
Yeah.
Rohin showed the short-horn bull with Philip, and the heavens opened.
People sometimes look at us, don't they? And you see odd comments, they'll say, that pair of jokers, living life of Riley, right?
Yeah.
Well, the life of Riley was not that first day at the Yorkshire Show. It was relentless. It was tough. It was, at times, slightly dispiriting. But we soldiered on. We travelled backwards and forward each day, didn't we?
Yeah.
We were up at 5 o'clock in the morning. We were on the showground for before 7. And it's not glamorous, but somehow I felt I really enjoyed it. I felt as though I pulled my weight and I did my bit, and I was glad we did it.
It was good. I mean, we got a few seconds, a few thirds, a fourth and a fifth with all the shires, the sheep, the cattle. In fact, I think we took too many animals. I think that's what made it really hard work.
Spread ourselves too thin.
A little bit, but, you know, if you go in, you might as well go with plenty of stuff.
I always feel, though, we've got nice animals. It's nice to show them off. It's nice to be busy and to be involved. But there is a sweet spot to find, isn't there?
There is.
And if I dare say, tear arsing about around the showground and feeling as though you're not quite doing anything justice, especially in the rain.
Yeah.
You know, it was a challenge, that, but we came through it. And for me, to be on that main stage on the Friday, to be driven round in that little cart, like as if we were Peter Wright or someone important.
Yeah. And we actually went to the President's Pavilion for lunch.
Yeah.
You could have wine, you could have beer, you could have soft drinks.
And you had a cheeky beer, didn't you?
I had a cheeky beer, because I thought I'd just relax a little bit before the next show.
Yeah. Talk about Joe Francisco.
Very, very professional. Yeah, I thought extremely good job.
Joe Francisco is head of media relations at the Yorkshire Agricultural Society. Really good person, looked after us phenomenally well. And I just found the whole experience really enjoyable.
Yeah, we even got a goodie bag to go home with.
Yeah.
It's like going to a party.
Yeah, it was.
Here you go.
Like a grown-ups party. There were all sorts in it, weren't there?
Crisps, there were biscuits. Yeah, it was good.
They didn't last long, I bet.
No, I've still got a pack, actually. They're probably out of date now. But the Yorkshire Show, Rob, going as a child, right, we go there. It was like a day off school.
Yeah.
It was, you walk around the animals. To be honest with you, back then, I wasn't that... I'm more interested in the animals now. I like going and looking at the pigeons and the rabbits, because you could show anything, couldn't you?
But you've always been a fancier, haven't you?
Oh, aye.
And to see a fantail with all its plumage has been the highlight for you over many years.
Well, my Uncle Ted's always had pigeons.
Yeah.
Right? So I like it. I like the noise they make. Very therapeutic. The Yorkshire Show's got something for everybody. I mean, we weren't just on the stage twice. We went to the pigs. We borrowed a pig each. We had a good showing them
under
around.
our arm or something like that.
Yeah, they were really big pigs, right? And I bet you've forgotten what happened down there.
I have forgotten. I've erased it from my memory. It was the biggest disappointment of my life.
What, when you got second?
Exactly.
But I'm not talking about that. Who else did we meet there?
I don't know.
Jules.
Oh, Jules, yeah.
Yeah.
He was escaping to the country, wasn't he?
Yeah, and we're going to be on it.
We are appearing on an episode of Escape to the Country. It is beyond our wildest dreams, our career highlight in television.
We've left it with several endings. Like sometimes when, like Dallas,
Did they buy the house?
we don't know, but we left it with Jules either, pig running off, we're off to the pub, or it was a nice ending. There was 3 different endings they could choose from. It's like Dallas back in the day. They used to film 3 different endings because people used to bet on like who shot JR and things like that. So it was kind of a sealed secret until it actually came out.
I think going back to the Yorkshire shows, we were growing up. It was the thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was the highlight of your year. I once went and stopped there with Nick Kent
I did as well, year after.
in a caravan. Right, we'd got a bottle of a thing of cold water to wash our hair with fairy liquid. So you imagine that?
Well, we did do that.
That wasn't very salubrious. It was just an exciting time, meeting other young people, and just a really great place to be. And all those years later, to still be making memories at the Great Yorkshire Show feels fantastic.
Yeah, it was a bizarre feeling actually being driven round and actually going on stage, and we had a good laugh with it.
We would like to thank all the people that turned up on that stage to make David and I feel more comfortable than we thought we were going to. The Farmy Army turned out in force. We had a great crowd watching us. There was a warmth and positivity about what we were saying, and it really made us feel better.
And we were interviewed by Christine Talbot. Yeah, and she was lovely, real professional, and it went extremely fast. It was a lovely thing to do. I'd love to do it again.
It was
if we ever got a chance.
Before it happened, I was quite nervous about it. I thought, oh gosh, what's it going to be like? Will people turn up? Will they clap? Will we be funny? Will we? You know what I mean? You try and do your best, don't you? And
yeah.
But it went really well. The pig showing went really well. The lunch, yeah, that was fabulous. We felt like royalty, didn't we?
Oh, we've missed a bit out there, Rob, because after the last stage show, we went cooking.
What a fantastic time we had cooking with Yemi.
Yeah, she was a lovely lady.
Stewed eggs, I never knew there was a thing.
Well, we made about 6 different dishes, and they were all extremely nicely flavoured, lots of spices. Oh, quail was lovely.
Yeah.
The egg stew thing was great. That had so much flavour. I really need them recipes because they were really, really good.
Would you cook them again at home?
100%. I mean, my mouth's watering. 100%.
Is it?
I really want to eat that stuff. They were really nice.
No, Yemi was lovely. The food was fantastic, and cooking on that stage was a highlight. It was really enjoyable.
And she'd actually been on MasterChef, hadn't she?
Yeah.
Quarter-finalist.
Yeah, I think they advertised her as a semi-finalist.
Yeah, but who's to know?
They'd oversold her a little bit, but
I think she was 10 out of 10.
And Nigerian cuisine, definitely something on the up.
Yeah, I'd definitely have it again, 100%.
So we showed pigs, we did cooking with Yemi, we were on the main stage. What was the highlight of those things?
I like being on Escape to the Country. That was a lot of fun. The pigs were good fun. I really enjoyed cooking because I'm not much of a cook. But when you've got a professional with you, everything goes so smoothly. Yeah, I think the Yorkshire Show is just the place to be for me.
I was shocked how many people turned up to eat what we cooked.
Oh, they were there, weren't they?
Yeah, they were really keen.
Yeah, they all took it in. But we had our tea waiting at home, so we didn't want to overfill.
Yeah.
No, it was a great experience.
So, casting our mind back to showing the animals, Murphy was a handful.
Yeah.
Peter Wright was holding him, but he sort of half beat him up a bit, didn't he?
He did, yeah. You've got to be extremely firm. You've got to be strong with it when you're holding a bull like that. And Peter, even though he's a brilliant vet, he hasn't shown cattle before.
He did well. I think Murphy let himself down a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. But the weather spooked him.
Yeah.
There was umbrellas going up and down. That upset him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he did well under the circumstances.
All in all, it was a difficult class.
It was.
Class. We then took Coco and Chanel in, and they looked a picture, and they behaved really well, and I was really chuffed with that. Second place was a great result in a strong class.
Yeah, no, I think you did well. And then it was the Sultan was across being shown as well. A disappointing result with him. I think next show we can do a lot better.
The Sultan of Barnsley was a slight disappointment at the Yorkshire show, but there will be another day for him, and I still believe he's a great bull.
I do as well. I think he's looking even better now. He's looking more muscular now. He's had a summer out on the grass with his heifers and his cows, and I think it's done him the world of good.
So the Shire horses next. We were indebted to Shona and to Emma for showing Blossom and Valentine, who looked fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, Shona, she knows horses. She used to ride horses as well. So trotting them up and down, and I've got to say, they ran well.
So the Yorkshire show wasn't the end of our showing season. We went to Honley, we went to Emley, Penistone, Westmoreland. We've had a fantastic time overall.
We have, yeah. That's a lot more shows than we normally do. But next year, who knows, Rob, we might go a little bit further afield. Royal Welsh, we might try something completely new.
I would love to go to Cornwall. I know it's a long way.
Right. I'm happy driving down to Cornwall if we can show some poultry.
Poultry?
It'll be easy, won't it?
Well, we're taking Chicolita.
Yeah, why not? She's quality. Those chicks, though, they could be quality birds.
We're taking Chicolita any penny. And
yeah, well, Rob, it's going to be an easy drive, isn't it?
Yeah. We surely take a sheep. Come on.
All right, then. But that's it.
Yeah.
We don't. If we're going all that way, we don't want to take anything too big.
So we've enjoyed our shows, right? What about the people who visited the farm?
Lovely people. We've had lots of people from all over the world: Australia, Canada, North Wales. No, we've had plenty.
Doncaster,
Donny, yeah.
No, but
Vegas.
We've had people in volume, haven't we? We've had great visitor numbers this summer. We've had a fantastic rapport with them. To see so many people come into the farm as the birthday treat and just a day to savour has been probably the highlight of the summer for me.
Yeah, it's been a good summer as well. The weather's been really kind. There's only been a few wet days, and even then, there were bits of sunshine in between.
It's not been brilliant, but it's been good enough. Good enough for a visit to the farm. Sometimes it can be too hot. That can put people off coming.
Yeah, they want to go to the coast and get it see. But no, we like sunshine, bit of cloud, and get that temperature just nice for the animals, really.
So a massive thank you to all the people that have visited the farm this summer. We've really enjoyed meeting you. Showing people, visiting, what else stands out for you? What else has been memorable? And don't mention your tummy button again.
No.
Having that tummy button again reconstructed.
Or, I know, but I've actually got a tummy button now.
Can we see it? Can we get a close-up there, Henry, of the tummy button? Can we get a camera on that?
Get it out, Dave.
Come on, you show us now.
No, I'm not doing it.
Come on, loosen that belt.
We'll have a close shot later
Loosen that belt, let it all hang out.
Right. Well, let's look at your belly button. You've got it as well.
Show my tummy button if you will yours. Come on.
No.
There's mine. Oh, nice.
Is there any fluff in it?
We've both got one. Snap.
Anyway, that's something we're not going to see on telly.
But this isn't telly, Dave. It's a podcast. We can do what we want. We've got time. We've got no one saying to us, apart from Henry, Tom and Dale, sure hope. Yeah. We can express ourselves. We can be freer.
Can we?
Yeah.
Talk about anything?
Well, within reason, as long as Henry says we can.
Right then. There we are then.
No, but the podcast thing is like a breath of fresh air because we can be ourselves and express ourselves.
And I suppose Henry's the one editing. If we want something leaving in, we can say, we'd really like that leaving in.
He's always going to favour Dave, isn't he? Dave will cut him out at will.
Well, Henry, you got to make him look bad from time to time.
I do that all on my own.
No, seriously, it is nice, and we can have whichever guests we want on as well. I know Jules is planning to join us. Helen was up for it last year, wasn't she? So that'll be good. And a lot of the Daisy Beck team as well. Yeah. All the people that have been working with us over the years, producer Kim, Lee, they're all keen to have a little chat.
I think the world's our oyster, but for me, the highlight was having mum on the podcast and dad,
Yeah.
and hearing about their early life. And I think just a chance to chat to other family members, other members of our team. You know, I do think it's something that could continue to give us great content.
Now, you've just brought an embargo, Rob, because the mum episode isn't out yet.
Is it not?
No, because we filmed stuff in different places, and I know for a fact that's coming later on.
Anyway, tune in. It's an absolute cracker. It's certainly my highlight of the summer.
It did make me smile a lot.
We've talked about the agricultural shows, welcoming visitors, but one thing that we're used to doing is delivering animals to live on our farm.
Yeah, I mean, it does slow down in the summer. I mean, we've had a few alpacas, and they've all gone very well. We haven't had to bottle feed one like previous years.
3 Shire foals this year, haven't we?
Yeah.
Which is a great success.
All filly foals.
Yeah, true.
You know, what a great addition to the breed.
And all flourishing. Fern has given birth to her latest heifer calf. That's got to be a highlight. She's our foundation cow.
I tell you what, we have more heifer calves than bulls, don't we?
Yeah, we do at the moment.
Yeah, that's really good, that, because, you know, it's nice. Again, the breeding potential there is great because Fern is a quality cow. So hopefully that heifer calf is going to be one of our best.
Long may it continue, because there's nothing nicer than breeding females that we can add to our breeding herd and enjoy in the future.
What was really nice, Rob, the other day is one of the llamas gave birth in the field. I was there watching it all, and that was a lovely thing.
I think to see something born naturally without us needing to give a pull is always a relief, because it's what we genuinely want all the time. We're here to help, but on that occasion, she was more than able herself just to push him out. But you then had to go and spray the navel.
I certainly did, and she was just the right kind of type of protective. You know, she was concerned. You know, I was there for a brief moment, and then I left them to bond, because you need that spray on the navel to stop any infection.
Yeah, she's doing a job, isn't she? She's looking after that little baby. She's making sure it can stand. She's licking it. She's bonding with it. And it was a beautiful film to watch.
I tell you what, it was up within 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It was really up quickly. And then later on, I kept on driving past to have a little look, up and feeding straight away. You know, that's what you want. You want a little cria that knows where the milk is, can smell it, and it's there.
It's such a relief, isn't it, when they latch for the first time. Any baby animal latches for the first time, because you know then that your work is mostly done.
It is.
That you can relax and let mum take the strain and just enjoy the view.
There was 1 or 2 heavy showers forecast that evening. So once they've got that bond, once it had fed, I brought them in for the night. And then the following day, they're out in the field enjoying the grass.
I think it's part of our job to keep an eye on the weather forecast, because when you're grazing animals in paddocks, there are days when they're better off inside, and it's just a matter of watching the forecast, bringing them inside and making sure that they benefit from the weather, not succumb to it.
Exactly. You know, we've got shelters in outside paddocks. You know, there's plenty of shelter for the donkeys and the shires and things like that. But you know what? They're animals. And if they want to stand out in it, they're going to get wet. So the best thing sometimes is just bring them all in.
So we've had new arrivals. We've had visitors aplenty. We've had a wonderful time showing animals at country shows. Anything else, Dave, that jumps out as a highlight?
Well, you know what? I'm always thinking the next season. Autumn, winter, Christmas is coming. We're starting to build the Christmas attractions at the moment. We've got winter filming coming up. We've got winter on the farm, Christmas on the farm. It's going to be good fun getting back into the filming, I think.
Yeah, I've absolutely loved doing the podcast, because I think it's a different type of filming, you know, more chance to talk about things, to go into subjects more deeply. But I've missed the people, you know, Kim, Lee, Barnsley, Tom. We've made friends over the last 5 years, haven't we, filming? And to be away from them for a period of months has been a pity. So I'm looking forward to catching back up with those guys, and having a bit of fun.
And let's not forget Adam. You know, you're mentioning cameraman.
Oh, God, I've forgotten him. Sorry, Adam.
What's he like?
I think on that note, I think we'll round off summer But what a joy it's been. I've certainly enjoyed it.
Been one of our best, Rob.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Cannon Hall Farm podcast.
We'll be back next time, and if you're listed on your podcast provider, just give us a follow.
And give us a rating too. 5 stars, please.
I've heard that really helps us in the podcast charts.
Well, something must have done. We've done really well. Right, we'll be back next time, but until then, I've been Farmer Rob.
I've been Farmer Dave.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. You're looking forward to filming then?
I am, but if you put your belly button out on national television, we'll get banned.
But it's new. It looks all right.